As we grow older, one of the most common concerns is where to live. After retirement, many seniors consider moving in with their children as a way to ease the transition into old age. It seems like a natural decision, a way to save money, be closer to loved ones, and receive help with daily activities. However, what many don't realize is that moving in with your children after 70 can lead to unexpected consequences that can change the course of your life forever. In this video, I'm going to share a personal story of why moving in with your children after 70 could be one of the biggest mistakes you make in your later years. I'll explain how it led to lost independence, strained relationships, and ultimately the loss of everything I had worked for. If you're considering this option, you need to hear this story so you can make a well-informed decision about your future. Trust me, the consequences of this choice can be life-altering. Part 1. The allure of moving in with your children. The idea of moving in with your children after 70 is one that many seniors are drawn to, especially when considering the challenges that come with aging. Declining health, reduced mobility, financial strain, and a desire for companionship can all contribute to the decision to live with family. It's easy to understand why this seems like a viable option. After all, moving in with your children can provide a sense of security, a steady source of support, and the comfort of being close to loved ones as you age. Initially, the idea of being surrounded by family in your later years can feel incredibly reassuring. It's common for older adults to feel more vulnerable as they face the physical challenges of aging, and the thought of having someone around who can help with day-to-day tasks like cooking, cleaning, or managing healthcare is attractive. Seniors who are feeling isolated or lonely may also see this as a way to feel more connected to their children and grandchildren, which can bring a sense of joy and comfort. For those who have limited mobility or are struggling with daily activities like driving, shopping, or managing their medications, moving in with children offers a promise of relief from these burdens. Family members may encourage their parents to come live with them, often suggesting that it will help take the pressure off both sides. Parents no longer needing to manage everything on their own, and children being able to provide care in a more personal setting. It seems like a win-win solution at first glance. However, the reality of living with adult children is often far more complicated than it initially seems. What appears to be a simple decision can turn into a series of emotional, psychological, and practical challenges that can significantly alter the quality of life for seniors. The promise of security is one of the main driving forces behind the decision to move in with children. As seniors age, they naturally become more concerned about their safety, and living alone may no longer feel as secure as it once did. For some, the idea of living under the same roof as their children provides a sense of reassurance, knowing that someone is close by to handle any emergencies or simply provide a feeling of company. Additionally, the financial aspect of moving in with children can be a significant motivator. In many cases, seniors may be living on a fixed income, relying solely on pensions, savings, or Social Security. For those who struggle with the rising cost of living, housing, and healthcare, living with children can seem like a cost-effective solution. Sharing the costs of utilities, food, and household maintenance can significantly reduce the financial strain, allowing seniors to stretch their savings further. Loneliness is another factor that heavily influences the decision to move in with family. Seniors who live alone may face social isolation, especially if they've lost a spouse or have limited opportunities for social interaction. The sense of connection to family, children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren can bring immense emotional comfort and fulfillment. The idea of spending quality time with loved ones, being part of family gatherings, and sharing memories together can seem like a dream come true. For many seniors, companionship becomes even more important in the later years. As they face health challenges and lose independence, the emotional need for human connection grows stronger. The thought of being around family not only provides practical assistance, but also offers emotional support, helping seniors feel like they still matter and are loved. Family relationships can be a source of joy and meaning, especially as other social connections begin to fade. On the surface, living with children seems like a convenient and practical choice. It eliminates the need for household chores, provides ready access to healthcare, and allows seniors to share expenses. The offer to move in may seem like a no brainer: help with mobility, assistance with cooking, and a roof over your head. It sounds like a solution to the difficulties of aging, and at first, it can feel like everything is aligned perfectly. But as we will explore in later parts of this video, these apparent conveniences may come at a hidden cost. The emotional, psychological, and relationship dynamics that come with living with family can sometimes lead to unforeseen consequences, including a loss of autonomy and independence. What starts as an act of care can evolve into a situation where the senior feels more like a guest than a family member, creating feelings of resentment, guilt, or even regret. While moving in with your children after 70 may seem like an ideal solution for many reasons, it's crucial to take into account the full picture. Security, companionship, and financial relief are powerful motivators, but they come with hidden challenges that many do not foresee. It's easy to assume that moving in with family is the natural solution to the challenges of aging, but it's important to recognize that this choice can significantly impact personal independence, relationships, and emotional well being. Part 2: The Loss of Independence. As we age, one of the greatest challenges we face is the potential loss of independence. It's something most people take for granted in their younger years: the ability to do what you want, when you want, without needing to ask for help. But as we get older, health problems and physical limitations can make even the simplest tasks feel more difficult. Moving in with your children, while seemingly an easy solution to these challenges, can often lead to an unexpected and profound loss of autonomy. When seniors move in with their children, the transition is often made with the assumption that they'll still maintain some semblance of independence. However, what many fail to realize is that living under someone else's roof, particularly your adult children, can unintentionally strip away that sense of self sufficiency. Over time, small changes in how decisions are made and how care is provided can slowly erode the independence that seniors worked so hard to maintain. 1. The subtle shift in control. At first, living with your children may feel like a comfort. They may encourage you to maintain your daily routine, help you with chores, and make you feel part of the family. But over time, things change. Decisions that were once yours to make, like when to wake up, what to eat, and even how to spend your time, are now being made by others. This subtle shift in control can leave you feeling like a guest in your own home. While children may have the best of intentions, their well meaning actions can create an environment where the senior feels increasingly dependent on others. A well meaning child may suggest, "Why don't you just let me handle this for you? It's easier." This starts with simple tasks like making meals or running errands. But it can quickly snowball into a situation where the senior is no longer able to make decisions for themselves. 2. The impact on physical health. One of the most significant aspects of independence is the ability to manage one's physical health and well being. When you live alone, you're often forced to stay active and maintain routines to manage your health. For instance, seniors might get up to walk around the house, prepare their meals, or keep their environment tidy. These small tasks keep them physically engaged and help maintain their strength. However, when living with family, seniors may become accustomed to a less active lifestyle, relying on others for tasks like meal preparation or housework. As a result, their physical health can start to decline. The loss of regular movement and exercise can lead to muscle weakness, decreased mobility, and weight gain, all of which contribute to the overall decline of independence. Additionally, when a senior's physical health is managed by their children, they may not take responsibility for their own health decisions. This could mean they aren't as proactive about taking medications, attending doctor's appointments, or engaging in healthy habits. The lack of personal responsibility for one's own health can perpetuate the feeling of helplessness and lead to further dependency. 3. The emotional toll of losing autonomy. Losing independence doesn't just affect physical health, it can also take a significant emotional toll. For many seniors, the ability to make decisions for themselves and care for themselves is a core part of their identity. When that is taken away, it can cause feelings of helplessness, worthlessness, and anger. The emotional impact of moving in with family is often more profound than people realize. Seniors may begin to feel resentful of the situation, especially if they sense they are becoming a burden. This can lead to stress and anxiety, which further erodes their emotional well being. Some seniors may even experience feelings of depression as they no longer feel like they have any control over their lives. As relationships with family members evolve, seniors may start to feel disconnected from the people they once saw as equals. Instead of being respected as an independent adult, they might feel like a child being cared for by others. This shift in roles can cause a great deal of emotional discomfort and can even lead to strained family relationships. 4. The loss of privacy. Another aspect of independence that seniors lose when they move in with their children is privacy. Living with family means there's no longer a clear boundary between personal space and shared space. Seniors may feel like they are constantly under scrutiny, and small things they once did in private, like managing their personal affairs, cleaning up, or even their daily routines, are now shared with others. This loss of privacy can be particularly challenging for seniors who have lived on their own for most of their lives. Suddenly, they're in an environment where they are constantly monitored, and their autonomy is reduced even further. The sense of having a private space to retreat to, whether it's a bedroom, a quiet corner of the house, or simply a place to be alone, is often an important part of maintaining mental health and emotional well-being. When that space is no longer available, it can lead to feelings of suffocation and a loss of control over personal boundaries. While moving in with your children may seem like a comforting and practical solution in old age, it often leads to the gradual loss of independence. From small decisions about daily life to the emotional toll of not being able to care for oneself, the consequences of this decision can be far reaching. Seniors often find themselves dependent on their family members for physical health, emotional well being, and even personal autonomy. Part 3. Strained relationships and growing tensions. One of the most overlooked consequences of moving in with your children after the age of 70 is the profound impact it can have on family relationships. What starts as a well intentioned arrangement, offering support and closeness in the golden years, can quickly turn into a source of tension, frustration, and resentment. The shift from independent living to relying on family for day to day care and emotional support can strain the most loving relationships. At first, everything may seem fine. Seniors are often welcomed into the family home with open arms, and both the senior and their children believe this new living arrangement will improve everyone's quality of life. However, over time, subtle changes begin to take place that can erode the sense of harmony. Boundaries begin to blur, expectations shift, and frustrations simmer beneath the surface. 1. The erosion of family dynamics. When a senior moves into their children's home, they are no longer just a parent or family member. They become a dependent individual. This change can be difficult for both the senior and the adult children. The parent may struggle with the loss of their previous role as an independent adult, while the children are now tasked with the responsibility of becoming caregivers, decision makers, and, in many cases, financial supporters. In the early stages, children may be eager to provide for their parents and offer assistance, but over time, this dynamic can shift. The parent may begin to feel like a burden, while the children may begin to feel overwhelmed by the constant demands of caregiving. The balance of family roles becomes increasingly complicated as each person adjusts to new responsibilities and expectations. For the senior, living under the same roof as their children can lead to feelings of guilt and embarrassment. They may feel like they are imposing on their children's lives and disrupting their independence. Meanwhile, the children may start to feel resentful of the extra responsibility and the strain it places on their own lives, marriages, and careers. This emotional toll can slowly erode the foundation of what was once a loving relationship. 2. Lack of privacy and personal space. Another major issue that arises when seniors move in with their children is the loss of privacy and personal space. Living with family means that boundaries become less clear. Seniors often find themselves in situations where they are constantly surrounded by others, with little opportunity to retreat into a quiet, private space. For seniors who have lived independently for many years, This sudden lack of personal space can be disorienting and unsettling. They may find it difficult to navigate the complexities of shared living spaces, where they feel like they no longer have control over their environment. Even simple activities like getting dressed, having a quiet moment of reflection, or enjoying a solitary hobby may feel invasive or uncomfortable when living in a shared family space. On the flip side, adult children may begin to feel overwhelmed by the constant presence of their parents. The need for alone time becomes more pressing as caregiving responsibilities increase. Over time, the lack of personal space can lead to tension and even arguments over small matters. What once felt like an act of love can become a situation where both parties feel like they've lost their freedom. 3. Differences in lifestyle and habits. As seniors age, they may develop certain habits and routines that are hard to change, even if they move into a new environment. These habits may clash with the lifestyle of their adult children, leading to further stress and conflict. For instance, a senior may prefer to eat at certain times, sleep at a particular hour, or have certain daily rituals that seem out of sync with the family's schedule. Similarly, adult children may have their own routines that don't always accommodate the needs of their parents. They may have busy work schedules, social lives, or children of their own, leaving little time to manage their parents' needs. Differences in how time is spent, whether it's family meals, personal activities, or even handling responsibilities around the house, can create tension between the senior and their children. This mismatch in routines often leads to misunderstandings and arguments. The senior might feel neglected or disrespected, while the adult children may feel like they are constantly being pulled in different directions. The emotional and physical strain of managing these differences can have long term effects on the family line dynamic, creating resentment and disconnection. 4. Financial strain and resentment. One of the most sensitive issues that arises when seniors move in with their children is the financial strain that often accompanies the arrangement. While seniors may move in to reduce housing costs or have a safe place to live, they may inadvertently become a financial burden on their children. Whether it's for medical care, groceries, or utilities, the costs associated with supporting an aging parent can add up quickly. At first, the children may not mind helping their parents financially, but over time, the growing expenses can lead to frustration and resentment. Some children may feel that their parents are taking advantage of them, while others may feel guilty for not being able to do more. The financial burden can put a strain on the children's marriage, social life, and personal well being. Eventually, this pressure may manifest in emotional tension and resentment toward the senior. While the idea of moving in with your children after 70 seems like a safe and comforting choice, it can come with serious emotional, financial, and relational costs. What starts as an attempt to offer support can lead to strained relationships, a loss of privacy, and growing resentment. The emotional toll of living with family can have lasting consequences, affecting both the senior and the children in ways that are often not immediately obvious. Part 4. Financial consequences. When seniors move in with their children after 70, one of the major assumptions is that it will be a financially beneficial arrangement. On the surface, it may seem like a smart decision. Living with family means no rent, shared expenses, and potentially even some financial support. But over time, this decision can lead to unexpected financial consequences for both the senior and the children. In this section, I will share why this seemingly practical solution can ultimately cause financial strain and long term loss. 1. Hidden costs of living with family. At first glance, living with children can appear to be a cost saving solution, especially for seniors on a fixed income or those without substantial retirement savings. Sharing meals, household utilities, and other living expenses can cut down costs for both the parent and the child. The senior may even feel relieved to not have to worry about paying for rent, property taxes, or home maintenance. However, these financial savings can quickly turn into a hidden financial burden as time goes on. Many seniors, especially those with health problems or limited mobility, end up requiring constant care. Whether it's help with daily tasks, medical appointments, or even assistance with medications, this can place a significant financial burden on the family. The adult children, who may already be struggling with their own financial commitments, such as their own mortgage, children's education, or retirement savings, may find it difficult to manage these increased costs. Additionally, unexpected healthcare expenses can arise. Many seniors over 70 face growing medical needs, including frequent doctor visits, treatments, and prescription medications. Seniors may also need home health aides or other medical support, which can be costly. These expenses are often not factored into the decision to move in with family, and they can quickly add up, leaving both the senior and their children in a tough financial spot. 2. The burden of financial dependence. As time goes on, seniors may find themselves increasingly financially dependent on their children. This dependency can stem from a variety of reasons: a decline in health, reduced earning capacity, or simply the rising costs of living. Even if a senior initially has some savings or pension, those funds can dwindle quickly due to medical bills, care services, or other unexpected expenses. This can create resentment between family members, especially if the senior is unable to contribute financially to the household. Adult children, while generally motivated by love and care for their parents, may begin to feel overwhelmed by the financial strain of caring for an aging parent. The senior may also feel a deep sense of guilt or shame for being unable to contribute, leading to emotional stress for both parties. Over time, the financial dependency can cause a power imbalance in the relationship. The children who are providing for the senior may feel burdened by the financial responsibility, while the senior may feel powerless, which can erode their sense of independence. The emotional toll of this dynamic can be devastating, as it forces both parties into roles that neither wants: the child as the caregiver and the senior as the dependent. 3. The impact on retirement savings. Seniors who move in with their children may also face a situation where they are no longer able to save for their own future. Instead of putting aside money for retirement, medical needs, or long term care, the senior may find themselves relying on the resources of their children. This can prevent the senior from saving for their own future needs. Over time, the senior may realize that they've sacrificed their financial autonomy. They may feel like they've lost control of their financial future, relying entirely on the generosity of their children. As the senior becomes more dependent on the children's financial support, they may also lose the ability to make important financial decisions for themselves. This loss of financial autonomy can cause significant emotional distress, as the senior may feel as though they are a burden to their family rather than an active participant in their own care. For children, the financial strain of supporting an aging parent can affect their own retirement savings and long term financial goals. They may find themselves diverting funds from their own savings accounts, retirement plans, or even future plans to cover the senior's needs. Over time, this can lead to financial stress and resentment, as the children may feel that they are sacrificing their own well being for the sake of the senior's needs. 4. Long term financial risks for children. Beyond the immediate financial costs, moving a senior into a child's home can also have long term financial consequences for the family. For example, the children may feel pressure to use their own retirement savings or make other financial sacrifices to cover the costs of their parents' care. This can leave them financially unprepared for their own future, impacting their own long term security and financial goals. Furthermore, the constant strain on resources can prevent the children from building their own financial foundation or pursuing long term goals like paying off debt, buying property, or saving for retirement. For seniors who are financially dependent, this creates an unbalanced situation that can lead to long term emotional and financial distress for everyone involved. While moving in with children after 70 may seem like a cost effective solution at first, the hidden financial consequences can cause long term strain on both the senior and the family. From unexpected medical expenses and caregiving costs to the emotional toll of financial dependency, this arrangement can quickly turn into a financial burden that affects everyone involved. Part 5: The emotional toll of losing control. One of the most difficult aspects of moving in with your children after 70 is the emotional toll it takes on your sense of independence and self worth. While the decision might initially seem like a practical solution for aging, it can quickly lead to feelings of helplessness, anxiety, and even depression. The emotional cost of losing control over your life is something that often goes unnoticed, yet it can be one of the most damaging aspects of the move. When a senior moves in with their children, it often comes with the assumption that they'll still retain a certain level of autonomy. However, over time, that autonomy can erode. The senior begins to lose their ability to make decisions, to choose when and how to do things, and even to express themselves without fear of being judged or overruled. The very act of relying on others for daily care, whether it's for meals, personal hygiene, or medication management, can create a deep sense of loss and vulnerability. Seniors who once prided themselves on being independent and self sufficient may find themselves feeling as if they are no longer in control of their own destiny. This can lead to a loss of dignity, which is one of the most painful aspects of aging. The loss of independence, a blow to self worth. For many seniors, independence is closely tied to their identity. They have spent decades being responsible for their own lives, making their own decisions, and managing their own homes. When that independence is taken away, often gradually, in small, imperceptible steps, it can feel like a personal failure. Seniors may begin to see themselves as burdens rather than active contributors to the family. This sense of dependency can be deeply upsetting. They may feel as though they've lost the ability to do the things they love, such as cooking, shopping, or taking care of their home. Simple acts that once brought them pride, like going for a walk in the morning or running errands, may now seem like monumental tasks that require help. This loss of autonomy can quickly spiral into feelings of inadequacy, depression, and shame. The emotional toll of losing control can make seniors feel as though they have nothing left to offer. This can negatively affect their mental health and well being, leading to feelings of isolation, resentment, and withdrawal from family and friends. 2. Family dynamics, from equal partners to caregivers. The relationship dynamic between a senior and their adult children also shifts when they move in together. What was once an adult to adult relationship now turns into a caregiver dependent dynamic. The children may initially be happy to provide support, but over time, the responsibilities of caregiving can create tension and resentment on both sides. For the senior, this role reversal can be difficult to accept. They may feel as though they've lost their dignity and self respect by relying on their children for care. No longer able to be the strong, independent parent they once were, the senior may begin to feel disconnected from their family. They may feel like they are no longer an equal partner in the family unit, but instead a patient or child who requires constant help. The children, on the other hand, may begin to feel overwhelmed by the responsibility of caring for a parent. They may not have anticipated the emotional strain or the loss of personal space that comes with taking on a caregiving role. Over time, they may feel guilt for not doing enough or frustration when their own needs are neglected. This shifting of roles can cause both parties to feel resentment, which can create emotional distance between the senior and their children. What was once a loving, nurturing relationship can become a source of stress and conflict. Both the senior and their children may begin to withdraw emotionally from one another, creating a cycle of distance and misunderstanding. 3. The fear of being a burden. One of the most profound emotional impacts of moving in with children after 70 is the fear of being a burden. Many seniors worry about inconveniencing their children or causing them stress, especially if the senior is unable to contribute in the way they once did. The emotional weight of this fear can be crushing. The senior may hesitate to ask for help even when they need it because they fear they are imposing. This can lead to isolation, where the senior may avoid asking for assistance or expressing their needs. They may feel guilty for taking up space in their children's home or feel like they are taking away from their children's quality of life. This fear of being a burden can also cause seniors to experience depression and anxiety. They may believe that their dependence is causing tension or frustration, even if their children are not expressing these feelings. In some cases, this fear can even lead seniors to withdraw socially and avoid participating in family events or activities, as they feel like a constant source of stress. For the psychological toll of losing control. The psychological impact of losing control over one's life is something that can deeply affect seniors. When living with family, seniors are often expected to accept decisions made for them by their children, such as meal choices, daily routines, or even how their time is spent. This lack of control can cause a sense of helplessness, leading to frustration and disempowerment. Seniors may feel as if their opinions and wishes no longer matter. Even well meaning family members may inadvertently dismiss the senior's desires, making them feel as if they no longer have a voice in their own life. This can be incredibly disheartening, especially for those who have spent their lives making decisions for themselves. This loss of agency can lead to emotional distress and anxiety, as the senior may feel they have become irrelevant or invisible within the family. The shift from being an independent adult to being cared for by others can also create depression and withdrawal. For some seniors, the emotional toll can be so overwhelming that it affects their overall quality of life. The emotional toll of losing control over your life is one of the most challenging aspects of moving in with your children after 70. What starts as an attempt to simplify life can lead to feelings of helplessness, depression, and disconnection. While the intention may be to provide care and support, the reality often results in a profound loss of independence, dignity, and autonomy. While moving in with your children may seem like the right choice, it comes with emotional, financial, and relational challenges that are often overlooked. I lost a lot when I made this decision: my independence, my financial stability, and my emotional well being. If you are considering this option, take the time to think about how it will affect your relationships, sense of self, and long term stability. It's important to find a solution that preserves your dignity and independence, whether it's through independent living, supportive communities, or other arrangements. Don't sacrifice your independence. Don't let the fear of aging control your decisions. Find a balance that works for you and preserves your dignity, purpose, and well being. Have you considered living with your children, or have you faced challenges in this situation? Share your experiences in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who may benefit from these insights. Let's continue to support seniors as they age with grace and independence here on True Senior Wisdom.